the community food officer. I don't know if you can see this. Let's just have a look. Oh, I can't see. So I'm the food officer for Foundations Stockport, part of Stockport Homes. I look after the 5 pantries in Stockport, but also I've just taken on a new-ish role around all kind of food provision in like the borough, and working with other partners on how not just the pantries but foundations can help with food projects and stuff around essentially Stockport. So we've got the pantry schemes, which I'll touch on, and then I will chat about what we've kind of done since lockdown. Obviously, ask any questions, always happy to answer. I know quite a few of you know about the pantries already, but I'll go with it. So the pantries are a network of essentially community food stores. It's all about offering dignity and choice to customers, because when members come in, they choose their own items. We don't hand out food bags or anything like that. It's all about choice. It reduces obviously food poverty, but it also tackles social isolation. We're trying to work on the social isolation side, obviously after COVID and stuff. But prior to COVID, we used to do things like a coffee afternoon, coffee morning, whilst people were waiting to use the pantry. We also used to do things like people trying samples of food cooked by us. But obviously now it's really hard with the masks, and people have to kind of wait outside and keep the 2 meters. But yeah, so we're working on that. Hopefully this year will be much better. It's £3.50 for a weekly membership, and you don't have to come each week. You can dip in and out, but as long as people always know that the pantry's there if they ever need to use it. We find that some members do come every week, and then some members, you know, come once a month, or find that they are in a better financial situation afterwards, so they don't need to come anymore. We've recently launched a new family membership. It used to be £5, but it wasn't sustainable for us as our stock was kind of depleted, and that extra £1.50 didn't allow us to buy much more stock. So we've raised it to £6.50, and it's for households of 3 or more, and they essentially get double the amount of food. So for a normal weekly membership, they choose 10 items of fresh, frozen, ambient foods operating on a system of 3 reds and 7 blues, and then families choose 20 items. So they get double the amount for £6.50. So we always offer free fruit and veg to customers, and we also offer free bread, fresh loaves of bread to customers as well, to increase, more so with the fruit and veg, to increase kind of healthy choices and healthier options. Things we have in, like, so last week we had lamb chops in, which is pretty amazing. The week before we had some prawns and some salmon. So it's every week, we never know what we're going to get in, because it's all donated from FareShare, which is the food redistribution charity in Greater Manchester. So we never know what we're going to get in. We don't have like a shopping list or anything like that. We're just happy with kind of what we get. Everything though is short dated, so those lamb chops or those prawns might have a day or 2 on them, but they're fine if you freeze them, or you know, things like that. So if you have them the same day or a few days after, that's absolutely fine. With a lot of the foods, again, yogurts, everything comes in that is a very short dated, and that the supermarkets can't get rid of essentially. But it's absolutely fresh. It is to the top notch. We get loads of fruit and veg, and some of that fruit and veg might have a date of, you know, yesterday or the day before, and yourselves and myself know that, you know, it is still fine to eat that kind of food, as long as there's no visible mold or anything like that as well. And it is kind of just about educating members that that food is still okay to eat instead of throwing it away. And that's where FareShare also comes in, with tackling the food waste. If we essentially weren't there, all that food would be go to landfill, which is really horrible. So yeah, we're doing a good thing for social isolation, feeding the community, but then also food waste and kind of more of the greener side of things. All our pantries, so we've got 5 and we've got about 30 volunteers. So they are all volunteer led. So the volunteers open the shop, close the shop, do the checks, handle cash, welcome customers, do deliveries, go to fair share. And they are like the absolute best type of people ever. And some of them do 3 shifts a week, some do 1. Some prefer doing the delivery and not customer facing, which is absolutely fine. We always need a variety. But yes, so we manage about 30 volunteers each week. Without them, we would not be able to open the 5. So we always have volunteering opportunities available if you know anybody or anyone in the community that wants to help as well. So that, yeah, like I said, about customer service and training as well. So we offer food hygiene certificates. We do, I think, every 6 months a first aid course through Stockport Homes, so anyone is eligible for that as well if they want to do it. We also offer manual handling, safeguarding, GDPR training online, and things like allergen awareness as well. So it's really good kind of offer for volunteers. A lot of our volunteers have been customers as well, so customers that have really got used to the pantries and find them really beneficial have then asked to volunteer and get them kind of into the employment ladder perhaps, or we also have like some that are homeless or in temporary accommodation, so that gets them on the housing ladder. So there's a whole range of different people coming to help. We also have a franchising model, so we work with Church Action on Poverty, and they have rolled out Your Local Pantries across the UK. Most recently we've had one, I think, in Cardiff and then 2 in Scotland, and in total we have 40 Your Local Pantries across the UK. So it's a really good service, and lots of people are interested in kind of opening their own as well. We have the 5, so there's 1 at Lancashire Hill, 1 in Bridge Hall, 1 in Brinnington, 1 at Mottram Street, which is in the town centre, and 1 at Woodley, which is just next to Oldham Drive and behind the precinct as well. We've got the opening times there, so we've got, Mottram Street is open Thursdays and Fridays, we've got Penny Lane Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Woodley Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Brinnington and Pantry at number 5 are open Thursday and Fridays. We are looking at extending some of the hours at the busier pantries, just to meet the need of people choosing their items, and it has definitely got busier. Our busiest is Pantry at number 5, which is in Bridge Hall, so we have about 50 regular members that come. Then Woodley and Brinnington are probably 40-45 members, whereas Lancashire Hill and Mottram Street are around 20 to 30 each week. So still really busy, but yeah, could be busier. So facts and figures. So in lockdown, the first lockdown, we worked with the council to deliver under 5,000 food bags to anybody that was self-isolating, anybody that was shielding, and anybody that called the coronavirus helpline. So alongside having the pantries open and adhering to COVID safety measures, we did the 5,000 food bags, which was really hectic. But yeah, it's an achievement looking back now. We don't offer any deliveries currently. It's all you come to the shop, unless there are like extreme circumstances, and then we'd kind of decide on that. But yeah, so everyone has to come to the shop essentially. In lockdown 1.0 as well, we had a lot of like referrals come in, and we delivered within the 24-hour from that referral coming in. We also actually closed Mottram Street, and we closed Lancashire Hill and Woodley for a couple of months, just because we were trying to obviously manage all our capacity, and we didn't have any of our volunteers due to safety and some of them shielding. But then now everything has reopened as normal. We we ask everyone to obviously wear masks when they come in, to use hand sanitizer to bring the exact change, because we can't give change out, and to obviously socially distance outside of the pantries, and we only allow one customer in at a time. But if anybody obviously becomes a member or is feeling anxious, please, let us know or let the volunteers know, and we'd be happy to guide them and support them as well. Each week, we have about 190 visits, which is 190 households come. You can only visit the pantries once a week, as well, I should have said. And around 50 households are opting for the family membership. So each week we're seeing that they're increasing, and there are more families opting for the £6.50 offer. We've got about 45% of our pantry members felt that their health had improved. So it's a difficult one, because obviously we offer the free fruit and veg, but the pantries do get a lot of kind of high meat items or ready meals in, or sometimes confectionery, and you do tend to see people prefer to go for those options, because in normal supermarkets they are a lot more expensive. But yeah, I mean, we are trying to do different health initiatives, and along with trying the foods and trying different methods of cooking, then people will hopefully start choosing the healthier options. So things like beans and lentils, sometimes pasta, they always get left on the shelf. Yeah, so they're the least popular things. We're working with CAP and, Church Action on Poverty, and ourselves. They released a social impact report just in January, so that's online, and I can send it to Dan to send out to everybody, because it's just so interesting and so heartwarming. And there's so many people that have actually reduced their debt, and they've saved money on accommodation through using the pantries. So it is a really beneficial kind of wider support service as well. Again, we're going to touch on that fruit and veg. So some members mentioned that they would not normally buy fruit and veg, so getting them from the pantry was a bonus, as they would choose these more than the microwavable meals. Pantry members who were struggling with food poverty found that using the pantry helped them put food on the table, which in turn improved their physical health and overall well-being. So that was kind of from a survey we did last year. We're looking at doing another one now, obviously, from the end. So the pantries are like a wholesome, lots of different packages. So we recently have been working with Cracking Good Food. So Cracking Good Food are like a Manchester-based organisation who are providing 100 meals each week for the pantry, so frozen and fresh meals. And they've recently got some funding to work with us to provide Cracking Good Food pods. So they are coming in April for 5 weeks to pantry number 5, and they've got a gazebo, and they're giving some samples away to customers on the food that we have in the pantries. So for example, like those beans and the lentils and pasta that don't go, they'll be cooking that up into something different, so members can try that. With the gazebo, it's outside, so we're hoping that everything all the restrictions are easing, so that would work nicely. And if not, then they'll do little takeaway containers so they can eat at home. They, after the 5 weeks there, they are interested in doing it at Woodley Pantry. So that would work really well with alongside the pantry, and at the Alpha Greenwood Centre we are looking at potentially just having a gazebo up when the pantry's open, so members can come down and try the food, and hopefully that will be May or June time, so a bit, again, the restrictions easing. And if not, like I said, it'll be like a takeaway thing with recipe cards and how to actually cook the foods, so that's exciting. We're also looking at working with Sow the City Manchester, who are creating a community garden at Bridge Hall Pantry, or pantry at number 5, because we've got a really big backyard, so they are looking at doing some raised beds, and then hopefully that would feed some of the pantry and go towards Cracking Good Food meals as well. Next. So this is just some of the pictures. I just thought best selection. The first picture here is is Bridge Hall Pantry. So it's its own standalone shop. So I think that's why it's the busiest one. It's because people are going to a shop. They don't feel like there's any stigma really attached to it. Obviously, some people do still feel the stigma attached, but we're trying to lessen that really. Woodley Pantry is in the Arthur Greenwood Centre, so it's in a nice new refurbished centre. So again, that's quite popular. And the same with Brinnington, it's in a community centre. The two quieter ones are in the tower blocks. So some members might not know that they are there, and they are very small. So I think that's probably why they are not as popular. And this picture is kind of what we get in. So a lot of people always ask, is it just ambient and tinned or pastas or stuff like that? But it's actually frozen stuff and fresh stuff. And some of the stuff that you get in is absolutely amazing and random. Well, people love the random variety because they wouldn't try things at home. And this is some selection of meats that we kind of give out for a meat hamper that we do every quarter for members that have been. We also give out free sanitary products. So for anyone that obviously needs them, we work with Every Month charity in Manchester to drop off these little period packs, which are amazing. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I've got any questions for anybody? I'll stop sharing my screen.
You've timed that well. I was just about to ask.
Oh yeah. Oh good, 2 minutes.
Yeah. Just to turn my camera off. Go for it. If anybody got any questions or.
Yeah, Christine. Yeah, I'll go Christine.
Right, Elena. Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I've seen you for a while. I'm fine.
I know. I'm knackered.
Yeah. One of the things I want to ask you, two questions really. One is, you buy so much food in. How much do you have to buy in, and how much is donated? Have you any idea?
Yeah, so basically FareShare donates the food, but actually with that £3.50 that goes to pay FareShare subscription. So FareShare costs around £2,000 a month, so that's obviously a very high amount. So the majority we get in from FareShare. Then I would say each week we do buy some additional stock so that we can top up. So sometimes FareShare don't deliver much food, or 1 week is really good, next week is bad. So we have that extra £3.50 or the £6.50 to then allow us to buy stock. And then we probably collect from about 10 supermarkets a week. But that food is more like bread products, tins, sometimes crisps. It's not fridge items because of their legal side with Asda and Aldi. But yeah, so I think we have saved in the last quarter 1.5 tons of food from supermarkets donating to us, which is amazing. Because otherwise that's going, and it's good food. So we've got things like sometimes donuts, croissants, chocolate, you know what I mean? So the customers are really happy with that.
Okay, good. The second question is, if you're a member of, let's say, the Woodley Pantry, and you can't make it on either of those days, and you're desperate, would you be able to go to another pantry?
In extreme circumstances, yes, that's fine. So we would say no, not really in normal circumstances, because obviously each pantry is in a specific area because of the catchment area. So if we say someone lives in Woodley and they want to go to Bridge Hall because it's open on a Thursday, that wouldn't really be allowed. But it's not to say like their neighbours or their friends, or even if they're a Stockport Homes tenant, sometimes the housing officers are happy to drop off the kind of parcels to them. But yeah, so in extreme circumstances, it's fine. If they email us or say, look, my shift's finished late, or I can't get there because my kids are at home or whatever, it should be all right. It's not that big an issue, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, David?
Hi. Well, first of all, thank you very much. That was really interesting. I wondered, I'm afraid I've got a couple of questions, but can it be used just for isolation? I know you're looking towards using it for isolation, but is there any way of somehow making it so that it wasn't well, I don't know, well, here's the food group and here's the isolation group, you know, that which would stigmatize. Perhaps a name change for the particular pantry that kind of offered that approach might help, you know, like Pantry and Chatter or Pantry, you know.
Well, yes. So with Woodley Pantry, we kind of just labelled it as the coffee afternoon. So we had it in the Arthur Greenwood Centre. So from like 3 till 5:30, you'd come and just, you know, have a chat. And it was mainly for people that were waiting in queue, but some people actually did come just for a chat. I was like, oh, well, have you heard about the pantry? And they're like, yeah, I just wanted to see people. I was like, oh, God, yes.
That sounds brilliant. And presumably, just to have a chat, you wouldn't need to pay the £3.50.
No, I think what we did, I think we charged, because obviously we had to cover the room hire. So the charge for like a tea or coffee was like 20p. So you just bring that down and then. But yeah, you don't have to pay £3.50 just to come and have a chat now.
My other thought was that, well, you know, you're getting the beams, the pulses, and the whatever that are kind of over. Could it be combined with, instead of tea or as well as tea, soup?
Yeah. So again, for that coffee afternoon and coffee morning before COVID, we did even, you know, tasters of pasta soup or soup with lentils or stuff like that, and put it in little pots, and people would then come back just for that. But obviously, as we got started, COVID hit, lockdown happened. But also we did things like pancake day. We had some members come down just to have the pancakes and with their kids and stuff, and that was really lovely. And I think the beauty of obviously the Arthur Greenwood Centre is that you've got that really big space, whereas the other pantries haven't, you know, so it's really good about utilising that space.
And the actual making of the soup would actually or could actually encourage people to, hey, you know what, I might choose those items and do it myself. But very quickly, the other thing is from our point of view, because it's also, you know, how you can help us, how can we help you? We've got a team of volunteers as well that say, you know, do you want anything delivering and things like that, which would fit in nicely with if people have got, you know, I can't get there because, you know, I'm housebound. Well, a set of volunteers that perhaps just ring and see whether our resource could be used as well.
I think that's like a really good idea, and thank you, obviously. But for the deliveries, the reason why we're kind of steering away from them or not really done them since lockdown is because it is all about choice. So maybe if we worked on something like we used to have an initiative called Pedal Power. So customers really wanted to cycle and drop off these deliveries. So that's not to say we can do that again.
No, I wasn't encouraging the deliveries. This is the deliveries that are needed, not deliveries that, you know, don't bother coming, we'll come to you.
Yes, definitely.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just aware of the time, so I was just thinking, can we get through the other questions?
Email me across. I'll put my email in the chat as well.
Elaine, did you have a quick question?
Is there an age limit for volunteers?
So we'll start at 18, but no age limit. We have volunteers that at Lancashire Hill that are over 80, over 70.
That's fine.
Thank
you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Eleanor, for that. Oh, very quickly, Angela put in the chat, when was the pantry set up?
Oh, the first one was Lancashire Hill, and that was 2014.